Okay guys, day 3 of the furnace attic install. I was getting ready to bring the furnace up, but I really need to do something with that B vent. See how it's over next to the roof decking? She had a roof put on recently, and I guess the roofers slid it over when they were putting the shingles on. So I need to open that up and get my clearance. You can see it's a very thick roof deck. Most stuff around here only has 7/16, but just my luck. So I'm going to get that cut away and then I'll be back. Well, I ate a lot of sawdust, but we have our clearance now. Okay guys, I got all the work I can do on the furnace out here done. I waited till I got here this morning to make sure what I was going to do with the vent. Of course, it comes from the factory with the inducer coming out the top of the furnace, which in my case would have been the end. And I was going to leave it that way because I don't have a lot of clearance up in that attic over to where it goes through the roof. However, 290s won't get me above the furnace, and anything they got at the supply house would put me way too high. So I went ahead and flopped it over. The 90 will actually recess down into the side of the unit enough to get my clearance. I wanted to bring the power in the top, of course, because it's going to be laying like this, but by the time I put that junction box here, you can't hardly even see this pressure switch. The pressure switch has to be relocated when you turn the inducer motor around like that. So I'm going to leave it on this bottom side, and I may even use a little 90-degree Carflex fitting and just bring Carflex up to the switch that I'll mount up on the rafter for the power. So I've got the blower removed. I've got I went ahead and turned the board around and tightened it up so that the door switch won't be sticking out where I might break it going through the hole up into the attic. I put me a foam gasket on top where my coil will set. Gives you a nice tight seal. You can still tape it, but the foam really helps. Just regular old insulation tape. So I'm going to go up and get my pan set where it goes. I guess I'll carry the coil up first since it's going to be farthest back, and then I'll bring the furnace up behind it and bolt them all together and set them over where they go. Furnace is going to be fun. All kind of room. I'm going to slide these two pieces together, get them connected, and then I can start moving some of this stuff around where I can put it where it goes. Okay guys, she is bolted together, and I got mastic tape on the bottom, back, and top. I'll wait and mastic tape the front after I get through doing my plumbing or copper, because I'll have to probably take the doors off and everything, so I'll save that till last. I'll be able to get that easy. Okay guys, I'm going to use these bricks because they're shorter than the block I was originally going to use. I need all the clearance I can get for the flue over here. I got a little piece of scrap rubber, like EPDM rubber roofing or whatever I had laying around, so that make sure I didn't do anything to the pan that would cause a leak. I've got the furnace and coil assembly setting up on 2x4s edgewise, some of that old cradle that I cut out earlier to give me something to support it while I slide it over onto this mess. But I'll get it over on there and get it positioned and see what we got. Well guys, I'd like to say it's good planning, but sometimes you just got to have good luck. I won't have to use any flex on the end down there because the two metal pieces went right together when I set it up here. It looked like they might, so I didn't bother to insulate that yet. Because what I can do now is insulate the whole shebang up onto the existing plenum that's insulated on the inside. The flue worked out too, so gas line's going to be no problem. I'm going to use this 10-inch nipple and go to this flex connector. Again, the power, I'm going to have to catch it under here, but that's not a big deal to me. Probably what I'll do is swing it out here and come up, put a switch on the joist up there, far away from the light switch so somebody doesn't turn it off by mistake when they crawl out of the attic. The thing I like too is where it wound up setting, you can stand on a ladder here and probably service the thing instead of having to crawl up here and bang your head. The blower, of course, will go right behind this control board. You could slide it out pretty easy standing on the ladder. Of course, you can get to your gas valves and all your controls. Even your inducer motor you could change without having to crawl up in the attic. So I will get that done on that end first and insulated. Then I will probably do my gas line. I don't know about the return, what I'm going to do it yet or not, because I've got some part boxes of 16 on the other van, and I'm sure I've probably got a piece long enough, so rather than open that big bag and have it, I'll never be able to get it back in the bag if I open it. I may just wait and put this in the morning, because I'm not going to get done today. I'm not even going to try. It's cool in the house. She's no hurry. So I'll just come back tomorrow and have a day 4. Although I think rather than try to do 2 more videos, I know you guys are getting tired of watching videos on this thing, I'll just put 3 and 4 together. Okay guys, I've got the flue connected with the 3 recommended screws, about 3 inches apart because you can't get anywhere else on it. I have the gas line connected, sprayed it down with bubbles looking for any leaks, and checking the inlet gas pressure. She's on natural gas here, of course, so it's middle scale there, old school gas pressure gauge, about 6.5 to 6 3/4 inches of water column for the gas pressure. So I'll check the manifold side once I have it running. So I was just checking for leaks and thought I'd go ahead and check the inlet gas pressure at the same time. You probably can't hear this because of my super awesome fan, but everything is masted up, and when that dries I'll put some insulation on it. I'm going to go ahead and do the wiring. As if it wasn't hot enough up here already, I thought I ought to go ahead and fire it and burn the smoke off the exchanger while there's nobody home. I still haven't insulated, it's still wet. I did get it wired. I'm going to run the seal top down through there. I may strap it up. I don't know, it ain't going to hurt anything laying right there. I'll strap it to the duct over there maybe. But she's fire dried up. I'm not going to try to test anything today. I'll do that tomorrow when I finish up, but I just wanted it to come on. I stuck the filter over the return here. Fan just come on, blower. Flue is warm. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hope it's not a train. Okay guys, here we go, beginning of day 4, and we'll try to get this refrigerant lines hooked up. It's sprinkled a little bit already, and it's threatening more rain later today, so I'm going to hopefully, I was going to come up here and blow the lines out and try to get the outdoor work done before I come back up here and finish up my duct and my thermostat wire. But what I think I'm going to do, this existing copper is not going to be long enough to bend back around into the unit, and the fact that it's maybe going to rain later today. I'm going to check and see if I've got one of the 90s like you get with a TXV kit. I usually keep stuff like that when I don't have to use it, that I can come out here with. It'll have a service port on it. It'll pop it up here and allow me to bend this one down into it and give me a place to pull a vacuum later in the dry. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get started. Got the nitrogen up here. I'm going to blow these lines out and get started, and I will get some video here and there. Okay guys, I got the line set blew out and the bent and fitted up. Here is the TXV 90 I was telling you about. I did have one. Unfortunately the service port points straight back toward the unit. As long as I leave the door off till I pull a vacuum, I should be fine. But if the door was on it, about all you could put on it would be a gauge with a 45 degree. Everybody talks about the new copper being crap. This is old copper, of course. It's very hard to bend by hand, but when you stick a bender on it, like the Hillmore over there, it bends very good, and it doesn't crinkle up or anything like some of the new does when you make a sharp bend like that. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my dryer up here too, since it's kind of inclement weather outside. The less time I spend out there, the better probably. So I've got this done. It's blew out. I think what I'm going to do is jump down outside and go ahead and get that outdoor unit put in before it rains anymore, and then I can come back up and sweat all this in then. So I'll get some video out there. Okay guys, the first thing I'm going to do out here is take off this old Rubitex insulation and put on some new. Okay, I'm going to do away with this 90 right here. It'll make me putting the new Rubitex on much easier. And my unit, actually, the service valves come out at a 45 degree angle. So all I have to do is kick this around and add a short piece in order to make the connection. Okay, I've got the old Rubitex off. Starting to slide the new on. I'll put caps back over my lines while I'm working down here. If you find an all black woolly worm, is that for a bad winter or a good winter? Anybody know? Okay folks, one of the hardest things to do that I've found as a one-man crew is get the heat pump up on, or the air conditioner in this case, up on pump ups by yourself and still have it halfway square on the pad when you get done. So what I do, I carry a couple of pieces of 2x4 in the car. As you can see, a 2x4 is 3.5 inches, and it's just barely taller than a 3-inch pump up. But that way I can set the unit up. I usually put one long ways up under it and then the other in the middle on the other side. And the heat pump will kind of balance there. Get it where you want it exactly. Peel your tabs off of your risers and slide them up under there. Once you get them exactly where you want them, you can just flop the 2x4s down and drag them out flat ways. So just a little tip. Okay, the new Rubitex is on. I've got the copper fitted up. The liquid line was long enough. The vapor line, because I cut off the 90 and the piece that come out, of course I have to add a piece to it. So I just swedged up the old line using the Hillmore swedge tool. Got everything wrapped up with wet rags. Got my nitrogen flowing. So I'm going to sweat it up. I got the liquid line done. When doing it, I was actually putting the nitrogen into the liquid valve because I'm fitted up in the attic, but I'm not bulletproof, so I might lose a lot coming back down. So what I'm going to do is swap my hoses, put the nitrogen in on the low side valve, let it come back out on the high side, and sweat up these two connections. Okay guys, this coil came with a 65 orifice in it. However, the outdoor unit came with a 63. So I've got to put the new piston in it. I've got all the joints sweated up. I'll put the new piston in, tighten it down, and it'll be ready for a pressure test. Well guys, the vacuum pump's been off for a long time because my meter has went off. Let's see what we've got. 25,000, that ought to do it. Well, now we're moving. Well, it's below 1,000. That ought to be good. It's supposed to mean leak free, right? $660. I think I'm leak free. I'll turn it on and let it run for a little bit longer while I wrap up some loose ends out here, and then I'll turn the gas loose. Okay guys, we got the return hooked up. I just finished wiring the thermostat. These two nuts here for the safety switches. It goes through one switch and then back through the other switch. One will be on the actual drain line and the other will be in the emergency pan. I like to bring everything in on one side with these furnaces because if you go to pull the blower, you've got to take this control board assembly out and fold it up. And if you bring thermostat wires in down here, it's not a real good way to do that. So even though it would probably look better to bring them underneath, I'm just going to bring them across the top and stick them in some of that black wire loom. So I'm going to button up the front. Go over here and do the rest of the coil and the drain line. The refrigeration's turned loose and ready to go, so I'll be able to start this thing up soon and start checking it out. Wish this thing had a backlight. That's the static across the units, 0.53, 0.51. That's just across the furnace. Got a lot of supply static. I guess it's that coil. Of course, the furnace was rated by itself, so we have to use it to get our airflow. So $924. It's because it's on the lowest setting right now. That's where it comes from the factory. So $924. We're probably pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and insulate that piece of duct. I haven't done that yet. I've been dreading it, so I've got it cutting up here. I'm going to take it over there and put it on, and then I'm going to turn the furnace on and check the heat rise and clock the meter and stuff like that. Make sure it's working okay. The house is about 73 right now, so I'll warm it up a little bit and then we can put on the AC and start running some checks on it. Once she fires up, we're going to check the gas pressure on the manifold side. Hot surface igniter is on right now. We have a 0.347, 45. calls for 3. I'll go out and clock the meter and see how many input BTUs we got. Let me rephrase that. I glanced in there and looked at the high altitude label. The gas pressure should be 3.5 inches. So we're pretty close. 3.45. I'm gonna go out and clock it. Okay, we're gonna clock the meter on the half foot dial. Coming around 53,000 BTU. That's a little much. It's a 44,000 BTU input furnace. What other dials do I have here? It does say half a foot. Let's do it again. Oh, that damn meter, look at that thing. It'll stop and jump a mile at one time. See if it'll do it again. We'll start the thing, test. See how it's hung right now? Then it'll jump. I don't know how accurate a test I'm going to get with this. Maybe it catches up, I don't know. It's more like a clock. Stop it halfway. I didn't. I missed the button. It happens to be when it glitches when you tap the button. Now see, that time I got 40,000. Shit, I think it's the meter. Pressure's right, flame looks good, and we'll go with it. The temperature rise on this little furnace says 15 to 45 degrees. I just stuck the eye manifold probes, one in the return and one in the supply that's just underneath the plenum up there. And I'm getting a 30-degree split right now. I'm sure I could change the airflow and change that, but I'm happy with that. It's actually pretty daggone warm up against the ceiling here. It's only about 75 at the thermostat, but it's 84 in the return air because it pulls out of the ceiling grill. So we have a 114-degree supply air. I'm going to, that one eye manifold probe is in that bedroom over there. The condenser's 2 stories down over in this corner, so hopefully, I don't have any repeater probes, so hopefully it'll reach out to the condensing unit, because I'm going to flip it over to AC here in a minute and start on it. Okay guys, we're adding a little bit of the pink stuff. The iPad battery is going to die any moment. I'll switch over to the phone then, but I thought I'd get a glimpse of it running. I overshot it just a little bit. I'll let it run and see if I need to take any back out, or it's pretty close. So we'll see what happens. What is it running at a 12 EER right now? 2.26 tons. It's a 2.5 ton unit. It's fairly cool outside, and of course it's getting cooler in the house. Our temperature rise, 15-degree split. What was it wanting, 17? What's a 17.8? Oops. iPad is dead. Getting a pretty good flow of water out of it. Okay, final product. It's working good. Oh, I didn't get my probes out. How many of you have run off and left your I-Connect rope stuck up in an attic? I brought this piece of duct board I had left over. I'm going to cut out a cover for her access hole temporarily till she can get her a sheetrock man. So that's the last thing for the job. Thanks for watching.